The fluorescent lights in Dr. Price's office buzzed like angry wasps, and I knew before he even opened his mouth that my life was about to implode. Naomi, your kidney function has dropped to 15%. My name is Naomi Mills, and I'm 34 years old. 3 weeks ago, I thought my biggest problem was a client who couldn't decide between blue or navy for their website header. Now I'm staring at a man in a white coat who just told me my kidneys are basically decorative organs at this point. What does that mean exactly? I asked, gripping the arms of the plastic chair. Dr. Price, Mason, he'd insisted I call him after our third appointment, leaned forward. It means we need to start talking about dialysis and eventually a transplant. The word hit me like a slap. Transplant. As in someone else's organ living inside my body. As in, I need someone to literally give me a piece of themselves to survive. How long do I have? Without intervention? 6 months? Maybe less? I laughed. Actually laughed. Well, that's just perfect. Mason didn't smile. Naomi, I know this is overwhelming, but there are options. Family members are often the best matches for kidney donation. Do you have siblings? Angela, my younger sister Angela, with her perfect teacher's smile and her perfect little apartment that our parents helped her buy. Angela, who hadn't spoken to me in 2 years except for obligatory birthday texts. I have a sister, I said slowly. That's good, very good. Siblings have about a 25% chance of being compatible matches. I thought about Angela at Christmas dinner last year, the last time we'd been in the same room. She'd spent the entire evening talking about her students while Mom hung on every word like Angela was reciting Shakespeare. Dad had nodded along, occasionally glancing at me like he'd forgotten I was there. We're not exactly close, I admitted. Family has a way of coming together during medical crises, Mason said gently. You might be surprised. Right, because nothing says family bonding like asking someone to give you their kidney. I drove home to my house that I'd bought with my own money, that I'd scraped and saved for while living in a studio apartment that smelled like other people's cooking. The house my parents had never even seen because they were always too busy with Angela's latest achievement or crisis. My phone buzzed as I pulled into the driveway. Jamie, my best friend since college. Hey, how did it go? I need a kidney, I said without preamble. Silence. Then, what? Kidney failure. Stage 5. I need a transplant or I'm dead by spring. Jesus, Naomi, I'm coming over. You don't have to. I'm already in my car. That's Jamie for you. While my family treated me like an afterthought, she treated me like I mattered. She arrived 20 minutes later with wine and Chinese takeout because Jamie believes all problems can be solved with alcohol and MSG. We sat on my couch, the one I'd bought myself, in my living room with walls I'd painted myself, and she held my hand while I told her everything. So, you need to call Angela, she said when I finished. I know. And your parents. I know. They'll help Naomi. They have to. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe that my family would rally around me, that this crisis would somehow bridge the gap that had been growing wider every year, that maybe, for once, I'd be the daughter who mattered. But I remembered Angela's 8th birthday party when she'd opened my carefully chosen gift, a book about horses because she was obsessed with them. And Mom had said, "Oh, how thoughtful of Naomi to get you something educational," like I'd given her homework instead of something I'd spent my allowance on. I remembered high school graduation when Angela had cried because she was only salutatorian, not valedictorian, and Dad had spent the whole dinner consoling her while I sat there with my acceptance letter to a good college that I'd earned with no help from anyone. I remembered every Christmas, every birthday, every family gathering where Angela was the sun and I was just another planet in her orbit. But this was different. This was life and death. My phone rang at 9 p.m. Angela's name flashed on the screen. Hello? Naomi? Her voice was crisp, professional. Mom told me about your diagnosis. Of course, Mom had called her first. Of course. Yeah, it's been a day. We need to talk, Angela said. All of us. Tonight. I pulled into my parents' driveway at 10 p.m., the porch light casting everything in harsh yellow shadows. Angela's Honda was already there, parked perfectly between the lines like always. Mom opened the door before I could knock. Naomi, sweetheart, come in. The living room felt like a boardroom. Dad sat in his recliner, hands folded. Angela perched on the edge of the couch, spine straight, looking like she was about to deliver a presentation. Mom gestured to the chair across from them, the witness stand, apparently. How are you feeling? Mom asked, settling beside Angela. Like my kidneys are failing, I said. Dad cleared his throat. We've been discussing your situation. My situation, not my illness, not my crisis, my situation. Angela got tested this afternoon, Mom continued. Dr. Price fast tracked the compatibility screening. I looked at Angela. You did? She nodded once. I'm a match. Near perfect, actually. For the first time in weeks, I felt something like hope. Angela, I. Let's talk logistics, Dad interrupted. Logistics. The hope started curdling in my stomach. Mom leaned forward. This is a big decision for Angela. Life changing. She'll need time off work for surgery and recovery. There are risks involved. I know that, I said slowly. I'm grateful she's even considering. The house, Angela said quietly. What? Your house, Mom clarified. Angela's been looking to buy, but teacher salaries don't go far these days. And you'll need to downsize anyway with the medical expenses. The room went silent except for the tick of Dad's grandfather clock. I stared at them, waiting for the punchline. You want my house? I said. We want what's fair, Mom said. Angela is giving you her kidney. You give her the house. It's an even trade. An even trade. The words tasted like poison. Dad shifted in his chair. Think about it practically, Naomi. You'll have ongoing medical costs. A smaller place would be more manageable. I bought that house myself, I said. I saved for 5 years. And Angela is giving you her kidney, Mom snapped. Do you know what that means? The surgery risks, the lifelong health monitoring? She's sacrificing her body for you. Angela sat there like a statue, watching me with those pale blue eyes that had always reminded me of winter. This is insane, I said, standing up. You're holding my life hostage. We're being practical, Dad said. Angela deserves compensation for what she's doing. Compensation? My voice cracked. She's my sister. Exactly, Mom said. And sisters help each other. You help her by giving her a stable housing situation. She helps you by giving you life. I looked at Angela again. Say something. Tell them this is crazy. Angela tilted her head. Is it crazy? I'm giving you an organ, Naomi. A piece of my body that I'll never get back. What are you giving me? My gratitude, my love, my. Your house, she said simply. That's what I want. The room spun. This couldn't be happening. These people couldn't be my family. I need to think about it, I said. There's not much time, Mom said. Your condition is deteriorating, and Angela needs to know your decision so she can plan accordingly. Plan accordingly? If you're not willing to make this arrangement, Dad said, Angela needs to know so she can move forward with her own life plans. The threat hung in the air like smoke. Give us the house or die. I worked 60-hour weeks for that house, I said. I lived on ramen and hoped for 2 years to save the down payment. You never helped me with a single payment, never even offered, because you never asked, Mom said. You were always so independent, so determined to do everything yourself. We respected that. You ignored me. We gave you space to be yourself, Dad said. Just like we're giving Angela space to make her own choices now. Angela stood up. I need an answer by Friday, Naomi. The surgery needs to be scheduled soon if we're doing this. If we're doing this, like it was optional, like my life was a business transaction they could walk away from. And if I say no? Angela shrugged. Then I say no, too. I stared at her, this woman who used to build blanket forts with me, who used to sneak into my room during thunderstorms, who used to be my sister. You'd let me die for a house? You'd let me give you a kidney for free? She shot back. Mom reached over and squeezed Angela's hand. She's being so brave about this whole thing. I stood there, shaking with rage and disbelief, watching my family negotiate my survival like a real estate deal. Go to hell, I said. I'll die before I let you ransom my life. I walked out, slamming the door behind me, made it to my car before my legs gave out, and I collapsed against the driver's side door, gasping for air that felt too thin, too cold. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom. Think about what's really important here, Naomi. Family is everything. The next morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls from Mom and a text from Angela. Deadline still stands. Friday. I blocked all their numbers. Jamie found me on my bathroom floor at noon, throwing up bile because I couldn't keep anything down anymore. Jesus, Naomi. She helped me to the couch. You look like death. Fitting. She made me tea I couldn't drink and sat beside me while I told her about the family meeting from hell. They want your house? Her voice pitched higher. For a kidney? An even trade, apparently. That's not how organ donation works. That's not how family works. I laughed bitterly. Tell them that. Jamie paced my living room like a caged animal. We need to call a lawyer. This has to be illegal somehow. It's not illegal to refuse to donate an organ, even to family. But extortion isn't extortion if they never explicitly threatened me. I pulled a throw pillow over my face. They're too smart for that. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Heard about your situation through the grapevine. Angela's doing the right thing, but family decisions are always complicated. Hope you work it out. Tiffany. Angela's best friend. Of course she knew. Of course this was already gossip. Who's Tiffany? Jamie asked, reading over my shoulder. Angela's friend, social media influencer wannabe, probably already posting about this. Jamie grabbed her laptop. Let me check. 5 minutes later, found her Instagram. She posted a story yesterday. Prayers for a friend facing an impossible choice about family sacrifice, with crying emojis. She's making Angela sound like a martyr, while you're the selfish sister who won't appreciate the gift. I closed my eyes. The narrative was already being written, and I wasn't the hero. My work colleague Beatrice stopped by that evening with soup and fury. I can't believe they're doing this to you, she said, heating up the soup I wouldn't eat. My brother gave me his kidney 3 years ago. You know what he asked for in return? A thank you card. Your family's different. No, your family's broken. She sat across from me. Have you looked into the donor registry? The waiting list is years long. I don't have years. Sometimes miracles happen. I don't believe in miracles anymore. Thursday night, Mom called from Dad's phone. Naomi, please, just talk to us. I almost hung up. Almost. What's there to talk about? Angela's scared, Mom said. She's never had surgery before. She needs to know this means something to you. It means everything to me. Then prove it. By giving her my house. By showing her you understand the magnitude of her sacrifice. What about the magnitude of mine? I'm losing my home, Mom. The only thing I've ever owned that was truly mine. Houses can be replaced, lives can't. Then why are you willing to let me die for one? Silence. We're not, Mom said finally. We're trying to help both our daughters. You're helping one daughter steal from the other. Angela isn't stealing anything, she's earning it. I hung up. Friday morning came with a text from Angela. Deadlines today. Need your answer by 6 p.m. I sat in my kitchen, looking around at the space I'd painted myself, the cabinets I'd saved for months to replace, the window where I'd hung curtains I'd sewn by hand because I couldn't afford to buy them. This house was proof I could survive without them. Proof I was worth something, even if they'd never seen it. Beatrice called at lunch. Any word from the registry? Nothing. I'm lighting candles for you. I'm not religious. I'm not either, but desperate times. At 5:30, I texted Angela. No, she called immediately. You're really going to die for a house? You're really going to let me die for one? I'm not letting you do anything. I'm making a choice about my own body. So am I. Your choice is stupid. Your choice is evil. She hung up. At 6:15, Mom texted from her own phone. Angela's withdrawing from the donor program. I hope you're happy. At 6:47, Dad texted, "You've always been stubborn, but this is suicide." At 7:23, another unknown number. Heard the news. So sad when pride gets in the way of family love. Praying for healing. Tiffany. I turned off my phone and sat in my living room as darkness fell. My house, my sanctuary, my tomb, apparently. But at least it was mine. My phone rang at 9 p.m. Mason's name on the screen. "Naomi, I have news. Your name came up on the registry. We found a match." "Are you serious?" I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles went white. "Dead serious," Mason said. "It's rare, but it happens. The donor is a perfect match. Better than Angela, actually. Can you be here tomorrow morning at 6?" I started crying. Ugly, gasping sobs that came from somewhere deep in my chest. "Naomi, are you okay?" "I'm alive," I whispered. "I'm going to be alive." Jamie screamed when I called her, actually screamed, then she cried. Then she screamed again. "I'm picking you up at 5 a.m.," she said. "We're doing this." I didn't sleep. Instead, I sat in my kitchen looking at my house deed, the paper that had almost cost me my life. My name was still on it, still mine. At 4:30 a.m., I did something I hadn't done in weeks. I called Mom. "Naomi?" She sounded groggy, confused. "I found a donor. Surgeries today." Silence, then, "What?" "The registry found a match. I'm going to live, Mom." That's that's wonderful, sweetheart. We'll be right there. Don't bother." "What do you mean?" "I mean, you made your choice. You chose Angela's real estate portfolio over my life. Live with it." I hung up before she could respond. Jamie arrived with coffee and bagels I couldn't eat, and a smile that could power the hospital. "Ready to get your new kidney?" "Ready to tell my family to go to hell with a functioning urinary system." The pre-op area buzzed with activity. Nurses, machines, the smell of antiseptic, and hope. Mason appeared with a clipboard and a grin. "How are we feeling?" "Like I won the lottery." "You kind of did. Your donor is remarkable, 36 years old, perfect health, altruistic donation." "Altruistic?" "She's not donating to a family member. She's giving her kidney to a stranger because she wants to save a life." A stranger was willing to give me a piece of herself for nothing. My own sister wanted my house in exchange. "Can I meet her?" "After recovery, if she agrees. The program keeps donors and recipients separate initially." My phone buzzed. "Angela, Mom told me. Congratulations, I guess." I showed Jamie the text. "I guess?" Jamie's voice could cut glass. What a gracious response. Another text from Angela. "This doesn't change anything between us." I typed back, "You're right. It makes it worse." The anesthesiologist introduced herself, Dr. Kim, with kind eyes and steady hands. "Any last words before we put you under?" "Yeah, tell my family I said they can kiss my ass." Jamie squeezed my hand. "I'll be here when you wake up." "Promise?" "Promise." I went under thinking about strangers with bigger hearts than my own blood. I woke up to Jamie's face and the most beautiful pain I'd ever felt. Surgical pain, healing pain, living pain. "How do you feel?" "Like I got hit by a truck full of hope." Mason appeared with charts and smiles. "Surgery went perfectly. Your new kidney is already producing urine." Best news I've ever heard. "Your donor is recovering well too. She asked me to tell you she's honored to help." Honored. A stranger felt honored to save my life. My sister felt entitled to profit from it. Beatrice arrived with flowers and tears. "You beautiful, stubborn woman, you did it. We did it. You and Jamie kept me sane." "Where's your family?" "Probably calculating how much money they lost when I didn't die." My phone had been buzzing all day. Messages from Mom, Dad, Angela. I didn't read them. On day 3, a nurse brought me a card. "From your donor. She wanted you to have this." The card was simple, a watercolor tree with deep roots. Inside, in careful handwriting, "Dear recipient, I hope this kidney serves you well for many, many years." You don't know me, but I believe everyone deserves a chance at life, love, and happiness. Use this gift wisely. With love, your donor. I cried reading it. This woman, this angel, had given me everything and asked for nothing. Jamie found me holding the card. She sounds amazing. She is amazing. She's what family should be. Speaking of family, your mom's in the lobby. She's been there for 2 hours. Tell her visiting hours are over. Naomi, tell her. Jamie left and came back 10 minutes later. She said to tell you Angela's been having some health issues, fatigue, joint pain. They're running tests. Good for them. She also said they're sorry about the house thing. They were scared and made bad choices. They were greedy and showed their true colors. Maybe you should. No. I held up the donor card. This is what love looks like, Jamie. Not whatever the hell my family was peddling. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Saw your story on Tiffany's Instagram. Family drama is so messy. Hope everyone finds peace. I looked at Jamie. What story? She grabbed her phone, fingers flying. Her face went pale. Oh, Naomi, you need to see this. Jamie held her phone toward me, and I saw Tiffany's Instagram story. A photo of Angela looking pale and exhausted, with the caption, "When you're ready to sacrifice everything for family, but they choose pride over love. Prayers for my girl going through her own health. Scare now. Family first, karma is real. Health scare?" I stared at the screen. What health scare? Jamie scrolled through more posts. She's been posting about Angela for days. Mysterious illness. Doctors baffled. Ironic timing. My phone rang. Mom's number. What? I answered. Naomi, please. Angela's in the hospital. Her immune system is attacking her joints. The doctors think it might be lupus. And? And she needs family support right now. Like I needed family support. This is different. How is it different, Mom? How is Angela's health crisis different from mine? Silence. Then, she was willing to help you. For a price. And now she's suffering, and you won't even visit. I looked at the donor card in my hand. You know what? You're right. I should visit. I should walk into her room and offer her my house in exchange for getting better. Naomi? Oh, wait. That's not how illness works, is it? You can't trade real estate for health. Funny how that works. I hung up. Beatrice visited that afternoon with laptop and fury. I've been reading Tiffany's posts. She's painting you as the villain in this whole thing. Let me see. The posts were masterful manipulation. Angela as the selfless sister, ready to sacrifice her body for family. Me as the ungrateful sibling who chose material possessions over love. And now, the tragic irony of Angela falling ill just as I recovered. She's making it sound like karma, I said. Maybe it is karma, Beatrice said quietly, just not the kind she thinks. That evening, Mason stopped by with discharge papers and news. Your donor has agreed to meet you if you're interested. Her name is Camilla. When? She suggested coffee next week, once you're feeling stronger. I'd love that. He handed me a folder. Also, the transplant coordinator mentioned you might want to share your story publicly. Some recipients find it therapeutic, and it helps raise awareness about organ donation. I thought about Tiffany's posts, about the narrative being written without my voice. What would that involve? Social media, blog posts, interviews, whatever you're comfortable with. The program has a communications team that can help. After Mason left, I sat with my laptop, staring at a blank document. Jamie curled up beside me. What are you thinking? I'm thinking it's time people heard the real story. About your family. About what family actually means. I started typing. My name is Naomi, and 3 weeks ago, a stranger saved my life. Not my parents, not my sister, a complete stranger who asked for nothing in return except that I live well. Jamie read over my shoulder. Keep going. This woman, Camilla, gave me her kidney because she believes everyone deserves a chance at life. My own sister was willing to give me hers too, but only if I signed over my house first. Jesus, Naomi, you're really doing this? They made this public when they let Tiffany spin their version. Now they get mine. I wrote about the hospital meeting, the ultimatum, the choice between my home and my life. I wrote about walking away, about choosing dignity over desperation. I wrote about Camilla's card, about what real love looks like. Should I post it? Jamie bit her lip. Are you ready for the fallout? What fallout? They already cut me off. Angela's already playing victim on social media. What's the worst that could happen? It could go viral. Good. Maybe other people need to hear this story. My phone buzzed. A text from Dad. Angela's getting worse. The doctors want to start her on serious medications. She's scared, Naomi. She needs her sister. I showed Jamie the text. What are you going to do? I'm going to tell him the same thing they told me. Family helps family, right? So they can help her themselves. I typed back, I'm sure you'll figure out a way to make it transactional. Maybe she can trade her car for treatment. Dad called immediately. That's cruel, Naomi. Is it crueler than holding someone's life hostage for real estate? We made a mistake. You made a choice. Live with it. I hung up and looked at my laptop screen, cursor blinking after my story. You sure about this? Jamie asked. I've never been more sure of anything. I hit publish on my blog, then shared it to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Within an hour, it had 50 shares. By morning, it would have thousands. My phone started buzzing immediately. Comments, messages, shares. The first comment made me smile. Your donor sounds like an angel. Your family sounds like vultures. The second one made me laugh. Plot twist. Karma's name is Camilla. The third one made me cry. I went through something similar with my family. Thank you for sharing this. You're not alone. I wasn't alone. For the first time in months, I truly wasn't alone. I woke up to 847 notifications on my phone. My blog post had exploded overnight. Thousands of shares, hundreds of comments, and my inbox flooded with messages from strangers who'd lived through similar family betrayals. Jamie called at 7 a.m., breathless with excitement. Naomi, you're trending on Twitter. Check our kidney for house is everywhere. What? People are sharing screenshots of your post. Someone found Tiffany's Instagram and posted side by side comparisons. The internet is not happy with your family. I scrolled through Twitter with shaking hands. My story was everywhere, retweeted by celebrities, shared in Facebook groups, discussed on Reddit threads. The comments ranged from supportive to absolutely savage. This family is disgusting. Imagine ransoming your daughter's life for real estate. The sister who gave her kidney to a stranger is the real hero here. I hope the parents see this and realize what monsters they are. My phone rang. Beatrice, girl, you broke the internet. My entire office is talking about your story. Is that good or bad? Depends on your perspective. For you? Good. For your family? They're about to learn what public shame feels like. Another call. Mason. Naomi, the hospital's been getting calls about your story. Media outlets want interviews. Are you prepared for this level of attention? I just wanted to tell the truth. Well, the truth is resonating. Camilla called too. She's proud of you for speaking out. By noon, my story had been picked up by major news sites. Woman chooses death over family's house demand, saved by stranger's kidney, ran on CNN. BuzzFeed did a listicle. 15 times this family proved blood isn't thicker than greed. My phone buzzed constantly. Interview requests, support messages, and then the calls I'd been expecting. Mom's number flashed on the screen. Naomi, what have you done? I told the truth. You've destroyed us. Your father's coworkers are sending him links. Angela's principal called her in for a meeting. People are calling us monsters. Aren't you? We're your family. No, you're people who share my DNA. Family doesn't hold your life hostage. Take it down, please. Angela's getting death threats on Instagram. Death threats? People found her social media. They're calling her a kidney thief, a gold digger. Someone posted her school's address. For the first time since posting, I felt a flicker of unease. I'd wanted justice, not mob violence. I can't take it down, Mom. It's everywhere now. Then fix it. Post something else. Tell people we're sorry. Are you sorry? Silence. Are you sorry for trying to steal my house, for letting me walk away to die, for choosing Angela's comfort over my life? We were scared, so was I, but I didn't try to extort anyone. I hung up. Jamie arrived an hour later with coffee and concern. How are you handling all this? I feel like I'm watching someone else's life explode. Any regrets? About posting? No. About the death threats Angela's getting? Maybe. She made her bed, Naomi. I know, but still. I wanted consequences, not harassment. My laptop chimed with a new message. Someone had sent me screenshots of Tiffany's latest Instagram posts. She was in full damage control mode, deleting old posts and posting new ones about misunderstandings and complex family situations. Too late. The internet had already archived everything. Another message caught my attention. The sender's name was Camilla. Hi, Naomi. I saw your story online. I'm so proud of you for speaking your truth. Would you like to meet sooner than planned? I think we both could use a friend right now. I typed back immediately. Yes. When and where? Tomorrow, 2 p.m., Corner Cafe on 5th Street. I'll be wearing a blue scarf. That evening, Dad called. Naomi, please. Angela's in the hospital again. The stress from all this attention made her symptoms worse. That's unfortunate. She's your sister. She's a stranger who wanted to buy my kidney with my house. We'll give you anything you want. Just make this stop. Anything? Yes. I want you to publicly apologize. All of you. I want you to admit what you did was wrong. I want you to tell the world that a stranger showed more love for me than my own family. Naomi, those are my terms. Take them or leave them. He hung up. An hour later, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. I'm your donor. I'd like to meet. I stared at the screen, confused. Camilla and I were already meeting tomorrow. I called the number. Hello? Is this Naomi? This is Camilla. I've been watching your story unfold online, and I think it's time we talked face to face. But we're meeting tomorrow. Tomorrow? I didn't arrange any meeting tomorrow. My blood went cold. Then who did I just agree to meet? I don't know, but it wasn't me. Naomi, be careful. Your story has made you famous, and not everyone online has good intentions. I hung up and immediately called Jamie. Someone's been pretending to be Camilla online. I was supposed to meet them tomorrow. Jesus, Naomi, you can't trust anyone right now. Cancel that meeting. Already done. But as I sat in my living room, watching my story continue to spread across the internet like wildfire, I realized I'd opened a door I couldn't close. The truth was out there, but so was I, exposed, vulnerable, and completely unprepared for what came next. The real Camilla and I met at a small bookstore cafe across town, away from the chaos my story had created. She was smaller than I'd imagined, with kind eyes and laugh lines that spoke of someone who found joy easily. You're exactly what I pictured, she said, hugging me like we were old friends. You're not what I expected at all. What did you expect? Someone bigger, more dramatic. You saved my life. I thought you'd have cape or something. She laughed. Just a regular person who happened to have an extra kidney. We sat in a corner booth, and she ordered tea while I got coffee I was finally able to keep down. I've been following your story online, she said. I'm sorry your family put you through that. I'm sorry the internet's been calling you a saint. That must be weird. Better than being called a kidney thief, I imagine. We both laughed, and for the first time in weeks, I felt normal. Can I ask why you did it? Donated to a stranger? Camilla stirred her tea slowly. My brother died waiting for a kidney 5 years ago. I got tested then, but I wasn't a match. After he died, I stayed on the donor list. When your name came up, it felt like fate. I'm sorry about your brother. He would have loved this story. He always said karma has a sense of humor. My phone buzzed. Jamie texting. Your parents are at your house. They look desperate. I showed Camila the message. Want me to come with you? She asked. You don't have to. I'd like to meet the people who tried to buy your kidney. We drove to my house in separate cars. Mom and Dad were sitting on my front steps like refugees, looking older than I'd ever seen them. Naomi. Mom stood up when she saw me. Thank God. What are you doing here? We need to talk. All of this has gotten out of hand. Has it? Or has it gotten exactly as out of hand as it should be? Dad noticed Camilla getting out of her car. Who's that? That's Camilla, my actual family. Camilla walked over and extended her hand. Mr. and Mrs. Mills, I'm the woman who gave your daughter my kidney. Mom stared at her like she was seeing a ghost. You're the donor? I am. And I have to say, I'm curious about people who would hold their daughter's life hostage for real estate. Dad's face went red. You don't understand the situation? I understand perfectly, Camilla said calmly. Your daughter needed a kidney to live. Your other daughter had one to spare but wanted payment. You supported the payment plan. What am I missing? Angela was taking a risk. So was I. You know what I asked for in return? A thank you card. Mom started crying. We made mistakes. We were scared. You were greedy, I said. There's a difference. Angela's in the hospital again, Dad said. The stress from all this publicity made her lupus flare up. She's on high dose steroids now. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? Because you could stop this. You could tell people to leave us alone. Camilla stepped forward. Excuse me, but your daughter nearly died because you refused to help her without payment. Now you want her to protect you from the consequences? You don't know our family. I know enough. I know a stranger cared more about Naomi's life than you did. My phone rang. Angela's number. Answer it, Mom begged. Please. I put it on speaker. Naomi? Angela's voice was weak, hoarse. I'm here. I'm sorry. About everything. About the house. About the ultimatum. I was wrong. Yes, you were. I'm scared, Naomi. The doctors don't know if the medication will work. I might need more aggressive treatment. That's unfortunate. Please. I know I don't deserve it, but I need my sister. I looked at Camilla, who nodded encouragingly. Angela, do you remember when we were kids and you had nightmares? You'd sneak into my room and I'd let you sleep in my bed. Yes. Do you remember what I never asked for in return? Silence. I never asked for your allowance or your toys or your room. I just helped you because you were scared and I loved you. I remember. That's what family does, Angela. They help because they love you, not because they can profit from your desperation. I know that now. Do you? Because 3 weeks ago, you were willing to let me die for a house. I wasn't thinking clearly. You were thinking very clearly. You saw an opportunity and you took it. Dad grabbed the phone. Naomi, enough. She's apologized. Apologies don't erase actions, Dad. They don't undo the choice you all made to value Angela's real estate dreams over my life. I hung up. Mom was sobbing now. What do you want from us? Nothing. That's the point. I don't want anything from you anymore. We're still your family. No, I said, putting my arm around Camila. This is my family. People who love without conditions, who give without expecting payment, who show up when it matters. Dad's face crumpled. Naomi, please. Angela's really sick. Then be there for her the way you should have been there for me. We were there for you. You were there to negotiate. There's a difference. Camilla squeezed my hand. Ready to go inside? Yeah, I am. As we walked toward my front door, the door to the house I'd almost died to keep, Dad called out one last desperate plea. Naomi, wait. There's something else you need to know about the donor testing. I turned around. What? Angela wasn't the only match. We all were, all of us. But we chose Angela because. He stopped, his face going pale. Because what, Dad? Because we thought we could control the situation better with her. The words hung in the air like poison gas. Camilla's hand tightened on mine. You were all matches? My voice came out as a whisper. Dad couldn't meet my eyes. The initial screening showed we were all compatible. Mom, me, Angela. And you chose Angela because you could manipulate her into asking for payment. We thought. You thought you could turn my life into a business transaction and profit from it. Mom wiped her eyes. We were trying to help both our daughters. Stop. I held up my hand. Just stop talking. You had 3 chances to save me without conditions, and you chose the one that would make you money. Camilla stepped forward. So while your daughter was dying, you were calculating real estate deals? It wasn't like that, Dad said weakly. It was exactly like that, I said. You turned my kidney failure into a family investment opportunity. My phone started buzzing. Text after text. Jamie. Holy shit, did you see the news? Beatrice. Turn on channel 7 now. Mason. Call me when you get this. I opened my news app. The headline made my knees buckle. Local family exposed. Parents admit to orchestrating kidney for house scheme. Someone had been recording our conversation. The audio was already online, spreading faster than my original story. Oh God, Mom gasped, looking at her phone. It's everywhere. Dad's phone rang. He answered, listened for 30 seconds, then hung up looking gray. That was my boss. I'm suspended pending investigation. Good, I said. Naomi, please, please what? Please help you clean up the mess you made when you tried to sell my life? Camilla pulled me aside. Are you okay? I'm perfect. For the first time in my life, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. My parents stood on my lawn looking lost and broken. 3 weeks ago, I would have felt sorry for them. Now I felt nothing but cold satisfaction. You should go, I told them. Angela needs you, and you've got a lot of explaining to do to the world. This will destroy us, Mom said. You destroyed yourselves when you put a price tag on my life. They left without another word, driving away in their car that suddenly looked very small and very old. Camilla and I went inside. My house, my beautiful, hard earned house that I'd almost died to keep, felt like a sanctuary. How do you feel? She asked. Like I can breathe again. My phone rang. A reporter from the local news. Ms. Mills, would you like to comment on the recording of your parents admitting to the kidney scheme? I have one comment, I said. Sometimes karma doesn't come from the universe. Sometimes it comes from people who record conversations on their phones and share them with the world. I hung up and looked at Camilla. Was that you? She smiled. I may have had my phone out when your dad started talking. You recorded them? I recorded them admitting to conspiracy to commit extortion. I thought the world should know the whole truth. I hugged her so hard I probably bruised her ribs. You're incredible. I'm practical. Your story helped a lot of people, but it needed an ending. Over the next few hours, my phone exploded with messages support, outrage, interview requests, and offers to help. A legal aid society wanted to represent me pro bono. A documentary filmmaker wanted to tell my story. 3 different publishers wanted book deals, but the message that mattered most came from Angela. I saw the recording. I'm sorry I was part of this. I'm sorry I let them use me to hurt you. I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know that I know how wrong we were. I showed the text to Camilla. What are you going to do? Nothing. She made her choice. Now she gets to live with it. And your parents? Same thing. They wanted to play games with my life. Now they get to see what happens when the whole world knows what kind of people they really are. Jamie arrived with champagne and Chinese food. I can't believe you did it, she said, popping the cork. You actually got justice. Camilla got justice. I just told the truth. We both got justice, Camilla corrected. Your story is going to help so many people who've been manipulated by their families. We sat in my living room, in my house that I'd kept because a stranger loved me more than my own blood, and ate takeout while watching my story continue to spread across the internet. The comments were brutal, but satisfying. These parents are sociopaths. The donor is a literal angel. I hope the sister who wanted the house loses everything. This is why chosen family matters more than blood family. That last comment made me look at Camilla and Jamie, my real family, the people who showed up without conditions, who loved without price tags, who gave without expecting payment. So what now? Jamie asked. Now I live, I said, raising my glass, with my new kidney, in my own house surrounded by people who actually love me. And your biological family? They can read about my life online like everyone else. We clinked glasses, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years complete, unconditional peace. My phone buzzed one more time. A message from someone new. Your story saved my life. My family was trying to manipulate me too, but seeing your courage helped me walk away. Thank you for showing me what real strength looks like. I smiled and typed back. Sometimes the family you choose is better than the family you're born with. Choose wisely. Then I turned off my phone and focused on the people who mattered. The ones who'd proven that love doesn't come with conditions and kindness doesn't require payment. The Mills family name was ruined, but I'd never felt more proud to be alive.